Okay, are we ready? Pull tight on it. There you go. Got it? 1, 2, 3. Yay!
15 years ago, Santa Barbara's Creeks Division completed the Arroyo Burro Estuary and Mesa Creek Restoration Project. The project restored the creek and estuary's riparian habitat, improved the water quality in Mesa Creek, the estuary, and at the Arroyo Burro Beach.
This restoration project has a really long history. Some of the initial funding for this project came from the California Coastal Conservancy, and it was well in advance of our finish date of 2007. In fact, funding became available soon after the city established the Creeks Division. And it was conceptually thought of as there was a great opportunity to provide improved access into the Douglas Family Preserve, as well as improve habitat in the Arroyo Burro estuary. Not much more had really been defined, and so to initiate this project, we began looking at access improvements, we began looking at estuary restoration, habitat opportunities, and over the course of about a 2 or 3 year planning period, actually came up with the design for the project.
15 years ago, we did a restoration project here, and at that time, the main goals were to expand the size of the estuary and to remove a portion of Mesa Creek that was in a pipe and restore 300 feet of creek channel. And that was to improve habitat and water quality.
Water quality was a main focus of the project due to some water quality issues at Henry's Beach at the time.
In the year 2000, the city of Santa Barbara was facing a lot of water quality impairment at our beaches. And so there were a lot of beach warnings and beach closures because of water quality problems. This location was one of those hot spots. And one of the reasons for that is urban runoff that's getting into the estuary. So this project was designed as a natural way to improve water quality with the urban runoff problem.
To improve water quality and habitat, the Creeks Division daylighted the creek. Or in other words, remove the creek from being in a pipe since the 1950s.
So when you have water go through a pipe, no plant can access that water, right? And so most animals and critters don't like to live in concrete culverts. Even if they're waterborne creatures, there's not a lot of good habitat in there, and it's super dark. And so for those reasons, removing the pipe creates a very big lift in benefit from the existing condition. In a pipe, you have hardly any habitat value, and outside of a pipe, as you can see around here, we have full-grown mature trees, we got singing birds, we got bugs and critters that can live in the creek water, and then the creek water is allowed to infiltrate into the ground, and that helps with treatment. And we found that inside culverts that bacteria can actually grow more just because it's a good environment, it's still. So from a pollutant standpoint, it's good to have natural bottomed creeks as opposed to concrete.
What's also happened in Mesa Creek is we have a lot of groundwater that was kind of the base flow of that creek that was not getting into the pipe and not diluting the urban runoff is now mixing with that runoff. So it's diluting it, it's reducing the pollutant load. The plants and the microbes in the soil also help to reduce the pollutant load. And what we're finding now is where we had a consistent hotspot for pollution coming down out of that pipe is now consistently clean water. That limits the number of beach warnings that we have at Henry's Beach. It limits algae blooms in the estuary, so it improves the estuary environment for all the aquatic organisms and fish that live in there. And so this project has really been a success story in how you could achieve water quality improvement through naturalization and environmental restoration of the creek areas.
Daylighting the creek was the first step of restoring the area, but it was just the start.
We redug out the entire creek area and replanted that with thousands of native plants and trees. We had community planting days where young people, old people, families came in and planted thousands of native plants. Those have all grown in now to the point that we have essentially a natural riparian corridor. Some of the trees are over 40 feet tall. So 15 years, that's what it takes to go from zero to a natural creek system.
On top of planting native plants and trees, a footbridge and walking trail was also added for residents and visitors to use.
In addition to providing opportunities to improve habitat for wildlife, because that's really important for our community, there are also places for people to play and recreate, generally passively. And so by doing this project, not only are we giving people an opportunity to recreate in a passive way, but also to enjoy nature and to better understand the value of having wild places and preserving those open wild places, even within a large urban infrastructure.
The area has come a long way in the past 15 years and even won a Santa Barbara Beautiful Award for public open space in 2008. Its improved habitat, recreational use, and water quality makes the Mesa Creek project a local success story.